Welcome to 5 Star Weekly. Unfortunately, the season has ended and Rob Valentino will not be the permanent head coach. Why? We get into all that and more coming up. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to the show, 5 Star fam. I'm AJ, and Atlanta United have been knocked out by the Disney Kitties. Yeah, it is a very unfortunate thing that I have to say here. But yeah, before we get into the match review and the news, let's give massive shouts out to our loyal Patreon fam. All season, you guys have been incredible and have supported us through the very tough times. And for that, we are forever grateful from the bottom of our hearts. It's Thanksgiving season, and yes, we give you many thanks for helping prop us up during a very tumultuous 2024. But most notably, Gavin, Jordan, Niall, Andrew, Chris, and Nick. Thank you guys. You guys are legends. But yes, LA United, they lost 1-0 to Orlando City at Inter and Co Stadium, and it was just one of these things where we had some very bad luck in this game as well. I think I count 3 incidents that what can you do a little bit, but the first one being that Jamal Tiare, he was fouled hard, and there wasn't really even a card given for Orlando City, but Jamal Tiare pretty much struggled. He tried to stay on, he ultimately could not really run. He was hobbling and eventually had to come off after kind of forcing it for some time. And Daniel Rios, he came on, and he didn't have much luck either, but we'll get into that. The goal that came, unfortunately, LA United couldn't really, I think, clear very well, and it kind of essentially fell right in the box where Brad Guzan had no chance, and it was just swept in. And Orlando's young striker was able to put it in the 6-yard box, and that's all they needed. A little bit of a mistake, and there wasn't really a clear-cut goal here, I would say, for either team in terms of a clear-cut chance. LA United looked bereft of ideas after, Daniel Rios, he got a ball kicked into his head, and he had to come off due to concussion protocol. And it's just 2 strikers down. Saba had to move up. Ronald Hernandez, he was moved into the wingback position. We did start off with Abram Williams and Stian Gregerson, but it just really is a weird match as far as kind of freak incidents. And then Saba, he tried to make some things happen. He was all over the pitch essentially, but we just didn't have a little focal point for us to really do damage. And it looked more like the games that we had earlier this season on the road. And Orlando City, the highest seed in the Eastern Conference, left, were able to, kind of, I would almost say smash and grab a little bit here. But honestly, both teams didn't really cover themselves in glory. And it's just one of these games that, it could have been different if we had, all of our healthy pieces anyway. And it just, we've had to fight through adversity all season. And even just the heroics from Brad Guzan. You can't really do anything about a shot in the box. And I mean, yeah, second half kind of looked just even more dire, and it was rough. It was a rough watch. Not a game that you want to end your season with, but there was belief from. I mean, you got to believe the squad really bought in, and then the fans were getting behind the club as well. The vibes were good. Lots of clamoring for Rob Valentino to get the permanent job, but yeah, ultimately we fell short, and it's just a very bitter pill to swallow to end 2024. I mean, we survived 4 elimination matches to reach this point, and yeah, we just weren't able to find anything in attack. It wasn't really that bad defensively. I mean, it just was a mistake, and they were able to capitalize, and we were not. We were not able to really create much, and it's just one of these games that it kind of reminds you of the earlier parts of the season where it just looked really dire. So yeah, we weren't able to repeat the trick on decision day, but yeah, it is where the season ends. LA United played with house money. It really did seem like we absolutely were just this miracle team, but yeah, we just couldn't make it happen against I would say our biggest rivals. And yeah, it's not I think at this point you almost have to hope for New York Red Bulls to take care of business there, and then whoever they face in the finals hopefully takes care of them, because yeah, it's not exactly a I would say just who you want to who you want to win. Essentially, it's one of these things where the teams left. You have Orlando City, New York Red Bulls, on this side, and then yeah, LA and Seattle on the other side. I mean, LA, kind of the glamour team for the league. The most winning team. Seattle, one of the best, kind of in recent memory as well. Just a poster club for franchises when they come in, and longevity as well. I mean, yeah, I think it's like, okay, well, you just kind of left in a rock and a hard place. For me, my money is probably, kind of hoping that LA wins. But yeah, so that does it for the match review. If you want some kind of more in-depth and more instant reaction, we had the post-match live fan reactions after the game. And yeah, you can dig into there for more of the reactions from everyone. And of course, that will be the last live post-match fan reactions this season. But yeah, it will definitely return for the next season. But yeah, let's get into the news. And of course, yes, Dax McCarty has officially retired. Yeah, best of luck in retirement. He is obviously a just storied veteran player in this league. One of the best midfielders this league has ever seen. But I'm sure also broadcasting, or definitely podcasting, is in his future. I mean, that man has the gift of gab for sure. He did say before this match that he wanted to celebrate like Brad Guzan in the back of the net when Luis Suarez was taunting him. And yeah, I mean, that's just top tier level banter. And unfortunately, yeah, we never got to see it. But next bit of news is the season end, the season roster moves has been announced have been announced, and the 18 players already under contract in the team for 2025. The club exercised contract options on 4 players and remaining in discussions with 3 other players on a potential return. Braguzan, Efrain Morales, Jay Fortune, Santiago Sosa had their contract options exercised. Braguzan, after the season that he had, I think having that type of that level of play all season, it almost is a little bit of a no-brainer. Hopefully he can continue that even at his age. But Garth Lagerwey, he even mentioned that Guzan won us the games in Miami, essentially, or against Miami, and that's kind of a major reason why as well that he has his option picked up. But 6 players had their contract options declined, including Eric Centeno, Nick Firmino, Ronald Hernandez, Franco Ibarra, Jamal Tiare, and Tyler Wolff. But the club remains in negotiations with Hernandez, Tiare, and Wolff. So all players will be eligible for the re-entry draft except Wolff, he will go on waivers. But in terms of the loan for Daniel Rios, it expires at the end of the calendar year. Dax McCarty is retiring, of course, like just mentioned. Goalkeeper Quentin Westberg also has retired. Essentially, there will be a lot of very, very interesting moves this offseason, in terms of players. But with the half-day trade window opening on December 9th, there will also be December 11th, the MLS expansion draft will take place, so San Diego FC can join MLS and pick players. There will be 5 players in total, 1 only from each team that they choose from. And if you get chosen into the next year, then you will not have to join an expansion draft if there is another team that joins. But free agency and end of the year waivers open on December 12th, and then followed by the re-entry process stage 1 on December 13th. So a very, very busy period coming up very, very soon in the next couple of weeks. But ultimately, Santiago Sosa, I think, the most interesting name there as far as the rumors that Racing Club, their president, will make the move permanent for $4 million rumored. That's according to Cesar Luis Merlo. And Sosa, he may have to be protected in our expansion draft in order for him to not be picked, and then for us to make some money on him. Franco Ibarra seems like a player that maybe not going to fetch as high of a fee, so we just kind of let that go, and maybe not saddled with a contract for him though. So it is unfortunate there, but so what do you guys think? Are those moves that you like? Do you feel like there should have been other players that maybe should have had their options declined or maybe picked up? Let us know in the comments below. But so Garth Lagerwey also spoke about Rob Valentino's future, and Rob Valentino, of course, did say his goodbyes already, and it was very much so that he was let go by Garth Lagerwey. But Rob Valentino, he wrote a tweet or X post saying, "Atlanta, thanks for everything. What an incredible ride it's been. Memories to last a lifetime. Valentino's out," while also sharing a photo of his young family inside the Benz, where they're all just smiling, and it's just it's definitely a bittersweet moment there, where Rob Valentino. I mean, from a vibe standpoint, he absolutely killed it. The team rallied behind him. He motivated them to play beyond their means, and we were greater than the sum of our parts for sure after losing Thiago Almada and Yorgos Giacomakis. So, it was as well, Caleb Wiley, of course. We pieced together a team that were able to knock off the best team in MLS regular season history. Of course, Inter Miami, winning the Supporter Shield with 74 points. And Lagerwey said, and he was complimentary of Valentino, saying he's done a fantastic job with the group. He confirmed that Valentino will not be a final candidate for the permanent head coach position at Atlanta United. He said, quote, "I can't thank him enough for what he did for our group, or with our group, for how he was able to maximize our team and to go on a playoff run and beat Miami. He's going to be part of Atlanta history and lore for the foreseeable future. I'm proud of him and thankful that I got a chance to work with him." He, of course, did mention, if Valentino won MLS Cup, it would have made his job easy. But, barring that, which, of course, didn't happen, it really made it difficult for Valentino to really make Wayroads into being a final candidate, as basically Lagerwey, he was seeking a manager with experience and a championship pedigree, and while he was able to, Valentino was able to lead us in an improbable run. I mean, we weren't able to win a trophy. So, basically, Lagerwey says, "Unfortunately, we came up just short of that, which doesn't diminish the run that we went on. We had a lot of fun, and it was certainly spectacular to have 70,000 people in the building for Game 2. You could tell it was a special moment, a special event. In a lot of ways, it redeemed the season, salvaged the season, and what otherwise would have been a pretty bumpy experience. So excited what Rob's going to bring in the future, but unfortunately, it will not be as the head coach of Atlanta United at this time." And Valentino being out of the running, Lagerwey, he did mention that he expects the next head coach to be a proven winner. And he did say, quote, "What is maybe not clear at the moment is just how desirable it is to work for Atlanta United. The type of candidates that we're able to attract to this franchise is really, really impressive. I think we're going to wind up with somebody good as the next head coach." And Lagerwey said there's just a couple finalists left now, and that he'll hopefully make the decision within the next couple of weeks before Christmas. And then, of course, there's a technical director that will, of course, be signed as well. And the timing of that hire will be similar to the head coach job. And that he's far along in the process for both positions. And he also mentioned that it's important for both candidates, for the two candidates for the head coach and sporting director, that they meet each other and that, to ensure that it's a right fit. So, he said, we'll get it buttoned up here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll get two people that are really good, and we're going to get two people that are really good together. And some of that is sitting around, to be fair, maybe more Zoom calls than coffee tables right now, but we'll get them in the same line together and talk philosophy and make sure we're in line in terms of big picture stuff. Then we'll get going. So, obviously, the Bocanegra thing that has been talked about, you can check out previous videos for our thoughts on that. But as far as the head coach position being a proven winner, of course, Valentino, just a couple of interim coaching experiences with us, hasn't won anything with us, and ultimately that seems like the main criteria that Garth Lagerwey has been prioritizing is someone that can not only have that championship pedigree, but also motivate the squad that we will have with, of course, 2 new DPs, as well as maybe something that I think in the long term is going to be very, very important, is doing well in the regular season so that the fans will feel like there is momentum, that each game is watchable. I think that's been one of the most difficult things for Atlanta United fans, is each game, and especially away matches early on in the season, were a very difficult watch. And Rob Valentino being 6-6-6 from win, loss, and draws, it essentially is we're not quite there with them and with Valentino, and so we need somebody that is going to allow us to play attractive football, whether that's counterattacking football, that's swashbuckling, or if it's protagonist football where we like to play with the ball, which obviously was not Valentino's MO. But ultimately, I can get behind that aspect that we do need to look like a top team, and top teams like to have the ball. So that's a very, very important aspect that I think we do need to prioritize and make sure that the club plays like that and does not maybe sacrifice some of those aspects just to be able to win games. I mean, I'm all for winning at any way possible, but as well, I think there's a level of play, a level of expectation of how we should be able to I think show out in the league, dominate proceedings. There is an aspect of that requires the ball for sure. So getting into the other bits of news. So Atlanta United 2 also announced its year-end roster moves, where Caden Moore, Rodrigo Neri, Cooper Sanchez, who are also under contract. The club also exercised the contract option for Javier Armas. Forward Ashton Gordon and goalkeeper Jaden Hibbert each have contracts for the 2024 season and will join the first team effective on January 1st. And let's see as well, Eric Centennial, he was under a season-long loan for the first team. His 2025 contract was declined, and as well, the club declined contract options for Ramzi Kawazmi, Jacob Williams, John Berner, Alan Carlton, Ethan Dudley, Matias Gallardo, Noble Okello, Daniel Russo, and Kareem Tamimi are all out of contract. And so the club remains in active discussions with Russo. So, that's the Atlanta United 2 news, and pretty much the news as well. That gets us to the mailbag. And you guys send in these questions through IG Story and Discord. Please continue to do so, and we might answer your questions in the future. So, first question comes from Zonky. Who do you think the other head coach finalist candidate is that we don't know about yet? Ooh, that's such a really tough question. There haven't been any leaks so far. Obviously, Patrick Vieira has taken on the head coach position at Genoa, and so the other rumored candidates haven't really transpired. For me, I'm hoping it's maybe one of the European head coaches that are currently out of a job, and so it's tough. Proven winners. We can really deep dive and investigate who that might be. I think it's a really tough thing to say, though. Without any rumors, it could be so many coaches. So, super tough to say. Yeah, I hope it's I hope it's this. I hope it's a coach that can motivate players first and foremost. You know, I think the aspect of possibly as well the two DPs that are going to come in, ego management, kind of goes in with the motivation as well. I think that's a very important part that will need to be, I think, connected to not only I think the players that are currently in the squad, future players as well, but also a connection with the fans. And so that all is super, super important. So next question comes from JRP 26BC. Which players should stay and which should go? Well, yeah, we have a lot of players that obviously have been, either options declined or have signed or have their options, picked up. But we will also do maybe next week, maybe a little tier list, with the players that are currently in the squad for who we will protect in the expansion draft. But so maybe stay tuned for that. But let's see. Next question comes from J3SU5H. Do you think if Muyumba started versus Orlando, we would have had a chance to win? I mean, I don't really think so. I mean, Muyumba hasn't really been performing at a top level for us for some time this season. And I think it's pretty telling why he was the player excluded in that midfield. I mean, Dax McCarty was coming in and playing very well. Jay Fortune has been a bit of a revelation this season. And then, of course, Bartosz Slisz has been very solid in midfield. So, I don't think midfields, at least from a defensive standpoint and a ball circulation standpoint, has been a problem. But I think, maybe some creativity, maybe some dynamism, yes. Next question comes from Juan Diego Pasano. He says, where is Rob Valentino going? He deserves to be that head coach of Atlanta. Well, we don't know where he's going, but he essentially obviously is not going to be in Atlanta and stay in Atlanta. I think he can maybe catch on with another MLS club or possibly cut his teeth a little bit more with a USL side as a head coach. But I think that's probably what it is for him, is that Garth Lagerwey, didn't pick up or didn't choose him as a final candidate, but allowing him to maybe further his career, since now he has a lot of head coach experience, at least for a season, a half season's worth. So, I think that's definitely something that, he'll need more of, is experience as a head coach to be able to, really be able to navigate a season's worth of fixtures and competitions to be, the level that he wishes to be. But next question, just comment really. DJ Windman just gave 5 heart emojis, and yes, just much love to you as well. But so Jay Hoft asks, was Valentino even considered for the gig after that run and the turnaround in culture? Well, yeah. Lagerwey did mention that if Valentino was able to win MLS Cup, then it would make the decision easy. Barring any of that, I think you have seen the decision that was made, which is, it makes it a lot more difficult if he's not a proven winner. But, let's see. Next question, or last question, comes from Land Guy in ATL. Which is more important, a new wing or a new CDM? I think a new wing for sure. I think we were massively underperforming on the left-hand side all season. from anybody that played there, essentially. And, we had Sandy Silva, of course, as the starter. He didn't really perform up to where the standards that we know he can, at least for the, when he came in last season. You had Edwin Mosquera play there occasionally. You had Tyler Wolf play there occasionally, and they were all a mixed bag. And Saba Laptenice eventually started playing there a little bit more as well, probably performing the best of any of the players that played there. But, he's more of a right winger, I would say, because he's able to kind of play both sides, play with both of his feet, and he's able to cut in on his left too. So I think that's much more needed than a central defensive midfielder, even though I think we still need maybe someone behind Bartosz Slisz. But Jay Fortune and Bartosz Slisz I think are excellent options as our defensive midfielder. I think the obvious thing is, yes, if we can get somebody better than all those players, fantastic. But I think as far as more important, I think a winger. I think we really need goals from our forward line. And, that left wing position has been just kind of an albatross, a bit of a black hole this season. So, yep. Those are all the questions for the mailbag, and that pretty much does it for the episode, except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, how do you feel about Rob Valentino not being the permanent head coach? Let us know in those comments below. But guys, that is the episode there and there. I want to thank you all so much for watching us this season. All of the support is very, very much appreciated, and I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. And yes, we'll be covering all the transfer rumors, the head coach and technical director incomings, and as well pontificating a number of things. And so, stay tuned for the transfer videos, for the podcast as well. Plenty of content still coming your way, so remember to subscribe, like, share, and definitely do all the YouTube things. But I've been AJ. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.